Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Book lovers across the city are engaged in the annual event hosted by Greensboro Public Library, and it's not too late to join the fun. Joining me now to give us a preview of One City, One Book is Brigitte Blanton. She is the Director of Greensboro Public Library. Hello, Brigitte. Welcome to the show.
Hi, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. Tell me, what is One City, One Book? How did it come about, and who actually selects the book?
So One City, One Book actually started in 2002. We were celebrating the 100th year anniversary of the Greensboro Public Library system. So one of our assistant directors at the time said, what would happen if we do what some other cities do, which is the whole city read exactly the same book and have conversations, discussions, and programs around that. Mm-hmm. So that's how it started. We do it every other year, except for one year we went 3, so that's why we started in 2002, but the next one's in 2019. How's it selected? Well, we have a selection committee. So we actually have community recommendations of books that they think we should actually read. That team actually goes through probably 50 books.
Oh, wow.
Then they recommend, and this has only happened for the last 2 One City, One Books. They recommend like 5 or 6 top books. I have a steering committee that looks at those as well. And then we actually, for the last 2 One City, One Books, have put it out for public vote. So who selected this year's One City, One Book? The citizens of Greensboro.
Wonderful, and that gets buy-in. It ensures people are going to actually be part of that one city experience. Right. What a great idea. This year's book is written by Trevor Noah. He is a television host of The Daily Show.
Yes.
And you want him to come to Greensboro. What efforts are you putting out there to get him here?
First of all, hashtag Trevor to GPL, which is Trevor to Greensboro Public Library. But we also have a postcard campaign. So stop by any branch of the library and we have postcards available. You just actually write a note to Trevor saying, please come to Greensboro, or whatever you want to say, and we actually will mail them for you. Our foundation is actually paying for postage to put those in the mail.
Wonderful. And social media is always a big draw.
Exactly. We are not only on our websites, we're tagging his Facebook page, his Twitter page. We're sharing it out any way we can because we want to get Trevor to Greensboro.
Yes, well, that would be a treat for sure. Now, community groups like to have their own book clubs. Is that a part of One City, One Book?
It is always part of One City, One Book. We buy book club sets that book clubs can actually call and reserve, and so they can take a collection of books, share that with their book club. We also provide facilitation, not just us like library staff, but we will actually train facilitators to actually have those conversations with their book clubs. So there'll be a point that we'll put a call out for folks. If you're interested in learning how to facilitate for this particular book, we actually provide that training.
Okay, that's good to know. All sorts of resources are always available through the library. One City, One Book, if folks haven't picked up their copy of Trevor Noah's book, the kickoff is August 24th.
Yes.
What kinds of activities go on that day?
Well, this particular year we're actually starting, and I know people may ask why, but we're actually having Asha Gray Davison, who is the author of Best of Enemies, and he is actually going to be there for a discussion. And people say, well, why are you doing another author of another book for this? One of the things that I think that Greensboro does that may be different from other One City, One Books is we take the book and we pull it apart. So race relations and education is part of that book. So there will be a discussion around that. He'll be speaking to that. It's also local. It's here in North Carolina. So that conversation begins. So if you haven't read the book, when you hear this conversation and read Born a Crime, hopefully it'll stimulate some other kind of thoughts. And so when you participate in book clubs, you actually have an opportunity to have some discussions at another level. So that's just one of the ways we do that. We bring all kinds of things. So librarians, when they look at a book, we don't necessarily see exactly what everyone else does.
Exactly. Yeah. So Best of Enemies talks about school integration in Durham.
Correct.
Born a Crime is apartheid, South Africa, and just Trevor Noah's experience growing up as a mixed race child.
Exactly.
Great overlap. Now, the library has a host of programs. You have no shortage of things that go on there. We're getting ready to embrace fall, believe it or not. Summer seemed like it took forever to get here, but fall is around the corner. What else, other than One City, One Book, will folks look forward to?
We will actually continue to provide our regular programming, so there'll be other book club groups. We'll continue to have children's program, our story times, our STEM programs. We'll continue to have our environmental programs as well. And in addition to that, we will have our One City, One Book programs that are happening.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Brigitte, for stopping by to tell us about One City, One Book. Best luck and wishes to get Trevor Noah to come to our community. I know the campaign is strong, and he's probably received more postcards than he know what to do with.
That's right. We've seen pictures of them on his desk.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, do come back. Keep us posted on all the great things that go on at Greensboro Public Library.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Stay tuned for a little-known fact about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us.